Hello, recappers. Today's movie starts in 17th century Italy, where a young girl named Benedetta Carlini is taken to a convent in the town of Pescia to become a nun. On the way, her family stops at a small altar by the road to pray. While they are praying, a group of bandits shows up and tries to steal Benedetta's mother's necklace. Benedetta, who is very religious, warns the bandits that she speaks with the Virgin Mary, and that Mary will punish them. Suddenly, a bird, which Benedetta believes is the spirit of Mary, poops in the leader's eye. His friends laugh at him, and he gives the necklace back. Once in Pescia, Benedetta is accepted into the convent, which is led by Abbess Felicita. Years later, Benedetta grows into a deeply religious young woman. During a play where she plays the Virgin Mary, she suddenly has a vision of Jesus calling out to her. At the same time, a young woman named Bartolomea comes to the convent looking for safety. She is running away from her abusive father. Benedetta is told to help Bartolomea, who is poor and uneducated, adjust to life in the convent. One night, Bartolomea tells Benedetta that she was sexually abused by her father and brothers. That night, Bartolomea kisses Benedetta. Benedetta tells her to be careful around the abbess and her daughter, Sister Christina. Soon, Benedetta starts having more intense visions of Jesus. In one vision, she sees a man she believes is Jesus, saving her from being attacked by several men. After this vision, Benedetta becomes very sick, and Abbess Felicita asks Bartolomea to take care of her. As Benedetta recovers, she teaches Bartolomea how to read and write. One night, Benedetta has a vision of Christ on the cross, who tells her to undress both herself and him, and touch his hands. The next morning, Benedetta awakens with stigmata, bleeding wounds on her hands and feet. An investigation begins. Abbess Felicita is skeptical, because Benedetta's stigmata appear while she sleeps, unlike traditional cases that occur during prayer. Benedetta also lacks the crown of thorns wounds on her forehead. After leaving the abbess's chamber, Benedetta collapses and begins speaking in a deep male voice, condemning those who doubt her. She now has wounds on her forehead. Sister Christina notices a shard of glass on the floor and suspects Benedetta injured herself deliberately. Abbess Felicita warns that church authorities plan to declare Benedetta's stigmata a miracle for political reasons. Benedetta is then elevated to the position of abbess, replacing Felicita. When Christina objects, her mother warns her that opposing the church's decision could be dangerous. Benedetta and Bartolomea move into Felicita's old chambers and begin a sexual relationship. Bartolomea even carves a sex toy in the shape of the Virgin Mary for Benedetta. Christina goes to the priest and claims she saw Benedetta inflict the wounds herself, though this is a lie. At a communal meal, the priest forces Christina to make her accusations publicly. Felicita refuses to support her daughter's claims, saying Christina did not actually witness the event. Now apparently possessed by the spirit of Jesus, Benedetta orders Christina to flagellate herself. Felicita secretly observes Benedetta and Bartolomea having sex through a peephole. A comet passes over the abbey, seen by many as an omen. Soon after, Christina jumps from the abbey roof to her death. As she dies, Benedetta offers to pray for her soul, but Felicita angrily tells her to stay away. When the plague spreads through the countryside, Benedetta claims in a vision that Pescia will be spared. She orders the abbey to be sealed off to avoid infection. Felicita escapes the convent and informs the nuncio, a church emissary, about Benedetta's sexual activities. Felicita returns to the abbey with the nuncio as the plague worsens. When they enter the abbey, they discover that Benedetta has died under unknown circumstances. As the last rites are read, Benedetta awakens, saying that she was in heaven and has seen the fates of everyone present. The nuncio orders his men to search the abbey for the wooden sex toy, but they are unable to find it. He then opens a court of inquiry into Benedetta's conduct. When questioned, Bartolomea denies having sex with Benedetta, claiming that she loves her as she does her other sisters. Later, the nuncio speaks with Benedetta in private. As she washes his feet, she notices a flea and realizes that he has likely brought the plague into the abbey. Bartolomea is tortured by the nuncio's men and eventually confesses to her sexual activities. She leads the nuncio to the wooden dildo, hidden inside a book in Benedetta's chambers. Benedetta is arrested. Once again, Benedetta speaks in a man's voice, lashing out at those who persecute her and proclaiming that the nuncio will soon fall ill. The nuncio, now panicked, discovers that Felicita has the plague. and orders her condition to be kept secret. Bartolomea is expelled from the abbey. The day of Benedetta's execution arrives. Before her sentencing, she asks to speak with Felicita to beg forgiveness. She assures her that Christina is in heaven. A distraught Felicita asks Benedetta what she has seen of her own future. Benedetta whispers something in her ear. The nuncio is warned that the people of Pescia will not allow Benedetta to be executed, but he proceeds anyway. As Benedetta is led through the angry crowd, Bartolomea pushes her way to the front and begs her for forgiveness. Benedetta merely smiles. In the town square, the nuncio offers Benedetta a quicker death by strangulation instead of being burned at the stake, if she confesses. Benedetta agrees. She then reveals new stigmata on her hands and begins speaking in a male voice, warning the crowd that the angel of death is approaching. Felicita steps forward from the crowd, removes her robe, and reveals plague sores on her body. The nuncio's men begin the execution, but the crowd revolts and attacks them, forcing them to flee. Bartolomea unties Benedetta, but finds a bloody shard of glass at her feet, suggesting that she may have faked the wounds. The nuncio tries to run away, but a crowd catches him and kills him. Benedetta arrives and offers to pray for him. He asks if he will go to heaven or hell. Benedetta says he will go to heaven, but he doesn't believe her and says she's lying. Bartolomea quickly pulls Benedetta away so they can escape safely. Meanwhile, Felicita accidentally steps onto the fire that was meant for Benedetta and dies in a burning stable outside the town. The next morning, Benedetta and Bartolomea wake up together after hiding all night. Benedetta looks toward Pescia and starts getting dressed, saying she needs to go back. Bartolomea begs her to stay, saying they can now be together and go anywhere they want. She asks Benedetta to admit, just between them, that her wounds, stigmata, were fake. But Benedetta refuses and says the people still need her. Benedetta walks back toward Pescia. A final message says that Benedetta lived in the abbey until she died at age 70, and the plague never reached Pescia. The movie shows how women's desire is controlled in a strict religious world. It has strong and emotional acting from Virginia Fira as Benedetta and Daphne Patakia as her lover. Charlotte Rampling plays the serious and watchful abbess. Director Paul Verhoeven doesn't follow a simple story. Instead, he explores big ideas like sexual freedom, power, gender, and the fight between faith and reason. And that's how our story ends. What did you think about the ending? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next breakdown.